Hey guys. So it's been a slow day. We had nothing really trigger in the first hour trading pit. The only gap in there was Johnson & Johnson, and that was on the news that they had revised their settlement plans, or their plans for the spinoff on the talc thing, right? So they're trying to end years and years of litigation by increasing the billions and billions of dollars that they have available to help the victims, if you want to call them victims, or the people who got sick from the talc. And then there's a question of whether or not the court will accept the settlement or dismiss it the way they did the last one, right? So J&J's gap was really on material news. So that's why I said, we're going to wait for a 1, 2, 3 pullback, and we just didn't get it. It was a sloppy setup, and there was nothing worth doing there. We did have Meta on for the first time, and that was an interesting one because it gave us a shallow dip right on that opening bar. And I know, a couple of you were like, you said wait 5 minutes, and that was really frustrating because that first one went right to a target. That's okay, because on the days that it doesn't go to the target, you're gonna punish yourself by saying, well, I should have followed that rule, and I didn't follow the rule, so I got whacked. And the best thing I can tell you is you wait them out. The second entry on it worked. The second time around it did the same thing. Only good for one of the bands. Did not run the bands. I talked to Eric about this in the past and just said, sometimes it's just better to put a target there and take it off at the target, and then take the next band when it dips. They almost always dip back into the range. They get up above, then they come down, and then they go back through again. But we're still getting our legs with that one too. Been following it for a while, obviously, to see what it would look like in our morning trading routine and the first hour trading that we do, and I like it. So we're going to sub that in and out for Netflix. Yesterday Netflix just wasn't doing anything that made any sense, so it wasn't worth putting on the plan. Other than that, I didn't take Apple this morning, as I said, in the first hour trading pit, because that thing was looking for a low. It was just obviously following the market down. It was tracking lower with the NASDAQ futures. It was tracking lower with the S&P. It was just following everything lower. Everything was saying this morning that we were going to have a down day. And you never know exactly when it's a semi flat open like that, where it's down 20 or 30 points and not looking for a really big move. But once the market opened and settled in, it was obvious that things were just biased to the downside, and the ease of motion, the easiest path for price to take, was going to be lower. So all of that said, all of that amounts to, we didn't really have any opportunities, and the best use of your hands, once again, was as a seat cushion, right? Those days happen. Remember, it's a holiday shortened week. Holy day shortened week, if you will, right? We've got Passover. So for my Jewish friends, Passover is tomorrow, and for our Christian friends, we've got Good Friday on Friday, and the markets are closed. Futures markets will be open a part of the day. That's a function of the fact that they're a continuous market. They trade overnight, so they really are closed Friday. It's just they're open sort of a half session. But let's take a look at the charts. There are a couple opportunities in the Qs for you to look at. So let's see what's happening here. We saw this big move, right, cascading move lower in the morning. And, really it was this, this first fib retracement here. This never came to pass. So there was nothing on that. But if you look at the extension move, once we got all the way down into here, and you just follow this whole track to the downside, it did have an indication that you had a 382 fib retracement right there at that black pivot, right at 315.71. The thing that was interesting, or semi-frustrating, depending on how you look at this stuff, was that we didn't have a lot of opportunities earlier in the day. So I've had a grand total of 2 entries today, I think, and they came, let me just show you here, when your price got back up above this line right here, because we had this volume by price, we had the natural support and resistance that we formed right there, and we had a volume by price threshold over here. I meant to say VWAP on this one over here. That amounted to a shallow move, right, from 315.22 down to 314.68. Nice little profit available there. And then really the next opportunity came as price got up into here. And the 315.22 entry this time around, I gave it up to 315.30 on a stop. I did not tighten the stop when we moved lower. I thought I was going to give it a little bit of room and just see, because the market's just sort of meandering, see if it couldn't get down from that VWAP level. It didn't, of course, so that one stopped me out, but no big deal. That's 8 cents, 10 cent stop on that. But then the next opportunity was follow the fib, comes up to, right, look at the confluence. So now you've got a fib retracement. You also have a 2SD reversion in the making, because you're extended 2 standard deviations from the closing price. So you've got a 95% probability at that point that you're going to get a reversion move down to the mean. And if you look at where the mean is, the average here is lined up right with 315.22. So actually this one already took it out here, but if you were still in, if you missed that exit the first time around, you've got the opportunity to get out now. So that's another, about 49 cents per share traded. Not bad for just sitting on your hands and paying attention to what's going on. And you can see that price has been pretty persistent over the course of the day in booking into this low part of the range. So this really said this downtrend on the NASDAQ futures was pretty good. Obviously, you could just eyeball that. I'm always a fan of that, as you know. And then when we got up here, we got a lot of indications that price was going to be sort of unstable on this move back higher again. So this is one of those times that overbought and oversold tends to be something that you can lean on a little bit. You can use it as a decision support tool. You haven't been up here long, and when you do get there, you're getting a lot of volatility back and forth. These things are whipsawing. They're not trending sideways nicely the way that they do when you've got a strong upward bias in place. So that is a good look at what's going on in terms of confluence. I should point out the other thing is that the session VWAP was also right at that 315.71 level. So all these things are the things that I look at. You want to see your volume by price line up. You want to see the anchored VWAPs line up. Right? You want to see the fact that you're getting rollovers on any kind of a stochastic or an RSI that you might have plotted. And those things then can just help you to not just get in front of an opportunity. Price should be getting in front of the opportunity, but they should sort of reaffirm and confirm for you the decision-making process that you have. So that's going to be it for the charts for today. And I hope it helps. Like I said, it's a boring day. It's okay. This is not always going to be an exciting business. And there's plenty of places you can go online and sit in a chat room all day long and just have somebody, barking a bunch of illiquid stocks at 500 people and trying to drive price and play a game of musical chairs that I've always said, it's okay as long as you're not the last one standing when the music stops. And that's just not something I'm willing to do at this point. But all of that said, it's been a good day anyways. The trades we did take worked out fine. And I think we've got some opportunities if you keep looking for entries and exits at those threshold levels and don't try to shoot for the moon. It's going to be narrower ranges today. And don't forget, we're extended beyond that second support level. And it is very, very infrequently the case that once you are beyond S2, that you go any further. There is an S3. I don't even plot it. I don't think I know anybody who plots it, because it's so rarely the case that price is going to make it down that much further that it's working against you to try to figure out that range. Don't try to go long either, because there's nothing saying that you're going to go up from here. Follow the charts, follow the trend. Trend's your friend, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.